Well, the reason for this video today is simple. Something just landed on my system, and it might be the best looking game we've seen in a long time. If you've got 60 seconds, I want to show you something insane. Black Myth Wukong at 1440p, running on the RX 7900 XTX. No ray tracing, just raw, clean GPU power. Got a minute? But graphics don't matter if the performance falls apart. So today, we're testing this game at 1440p across different settings to find the sweet spot between visuals and frame rate. Before we start, here's the test system. RX 7900 XTX, Ryzen 5 9600X, 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, game installed on an NVMe SSD, VSync off, native resolution at 2560 by 1440. Let's begin with Ultra settings. At Ultra, all visual settings are maxed out. Textures, shadows, foliage, lighting, and effects. Everything is at the cinematic level. For this preset, FSR is turned off and TSR is enabled. Super resolution scaling is set to 100%, so you're seeing the cleanest possible image. Frame generation is also turned off because we want a pure baseline without any artificial frame boosting. Performance here sits around your 50, which is close to playable. However, during heavy combat or cinematic scenes, you may notice occasional frame drops. Visually, this preset looks incredible, but it doesn't offer the most stable or consistent gameplay feel. Now we turn on FSR for quality mode. Super resolution scaling is set to 67%, which gives a noticeable boost in performance while still keeping the overall image sharp and visually appealing. Frame generation is turned off for this preset, so what you see is native frame output without any artificially generated frames. Performance here lands around your 70, and the gameplay feels smoother than Ultra, especially in open areas or during heavy action sequences. Visually, this preset keeps the dramatic lighting, dense environments, and high-quality textures, while offering a more stable experience than pure maxed settings. There may be a slight softness due to the scaling, but during actual gameplay, it's barely noticeable. This preset strikes a good balance between cinematic visuals and playability, without relying on frame interpolation. This time, frame generation is turned on, which helps smooth out motion and increase the overall responsiveness during gameplay and cutscenes. With this setup, performance jumps noticeably compared to the same preset without frame generation. The gameplay feels smoother, especially during fast movement, boss fights, or heavy combat sequences. Visually, the game maintains its dramatic lighting, dense environments, and polished textures. There may be a slight softness from the scaling, but in motion, the game still looks cinematic and impressive. Overall, this preset provides a great blend of visual quality and fluidity, delivering that dramatic, movie-like experience, but with much better performance thanks to frame generation. Now the optimized preset. Super resolution scaling is set to 100%, giving you a clean native-looking image without any softening or reconstruction artifacts. Frame generation is also turned off, so the frame output is completely native and consistent, without interpolated frames affecting responsiveness or motion clarity. With this configuration, performance is noticeably better than Ultra presets. Gameplay feels stable, smooth, and more responsive, especially during combat, movement, and boss encounters. Visuals remain sharp, detailed, and true to the original design. High-quality textures, clean edges, consistent lighting, and a dense world environment. This preset strikes an excellent balance between clarity, consistency, and real performance. For 1440p on the RX 7900 XTX, this setup delivers one of the most natural and enjoyable playing experiences without sacrificing the visual identity of the game. For the lowest preset, super resolution scaling is set to around 65%, which helps push higher frame rates while keeping the game reasonably readable. Frame generation is also turned off here. With this configuration, performance increases significantly compared to all other presets. However, visually this preset makes noticeable compromises. Texture detail is reduced, shadows are softer or simplified, and foliage density is much lower. The game doesn't look bad, but it loses the cinematic quality seen in higher presets. For this preset, we're aiming for the highest performance possible without sacrificing visual quality. Super resolution scaling is set to 100%, so the final image stays clean, sharp, and close to native resolution. This time, frame generation is turned on, and this gives a very noticeable boost to smoothness, especially during combat, boss fights, or an area with a lot of texture. With this configuration, performance becomes extremely strong. The game feels fluid, responsive, and consistent, even in demanding environments or large-scale encounters. Visually, textures remain sharp, and the world maintains its cinematic look without the softness or reconstruction that comes from lower scaling values. This preset delivers the best balance: high frame rate, stable 1% lows, and visuals that still look premium. If you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you want more benchmarks, settings guides, and performance breakdowns for the latest PC games. Let me know in the comments which preset you're going to use, and if you want to test at 4K, or a comparison against NVIDIA cards, just say the word. Thanks for watching, take care, and enjoy the game.